tests are starting to come, and they're coming thick and fast, and they're coming from more difficult testers. Is that fair to say that, for all we've seen that's positive, the test only really starts on the 20th of October on that run?
So that's obviously how things are perceived, isn't it, Trevor? I mean,
yeah,
I mentioned the Wolves and the Crystal Palace game. I believe both of them will be very difficult games, but other people are not perceiving them as being anything other than 3 points for Liverpool.
Yeah.
So that's the whole problem, isn't it? And I think I told you last week on the podcast, when we lost 1-0 to Forest, I was at a game somewhere else. I can't remember where I was. And everybody you spoke to went, "Oh, well, Jan, it didn't take long for that bubble to burst, did it?" So that's kind of... So as much as people are going, well, Liverpool's out of kind. Fixture list, yes, we can't deny that. That is a fact. But they go, well, now. And people, again, will be waiting. Can you imagine if you come out of... Yeah, and you're right with the Leipzig game. What a difficult game is because they're so energetic. And it's going to be difficult. And can you imagine if we come out of them games, having maybe drawn and losing a couple of them, people were there again going, oh, well, it wasn't what everybody thought it was going to be. We're now back to more normal circumstances, isn't it? But let's see. I mean, we're certainly, you mentioned before, rhythm. We're getting our rhythm. Players are playing well. There's more players playing well. And one or two players have emerged from the shadows of Jurgen Klopp's team to show themselves to really good players. So I can't wait. I mean, Trevor, this is what it's all about, isn't it? This sort of will we, won't we, looking at their players and thinking, what's a good player he is? How many good players have they got, isn't it? Let's go to work, And the satisfaction, Trevor, when you do win these games, it's almost what... Sometimes as a player, yeah, of course, you want to win 4 and 5-0, but you do get a little bored sometimes, and you kind of look forward and you go, come on then, today is the big day. And they're also the days that, your legacy, they come from the big games, don't they? How much damage can you do in those big games? The big games that maybe isn't for everybody, but most players should be looking forward to them.
Yeah, I think we can safely say that we have a team full of big game players. We look at the renaissance of Luis Diaz on Slot's watch. We're hopefully seeing the return to form of Darwin Núñez. Jota looks like he's got his eye in. Mo Salah, for the most part, has been tremendous this season as well. We have these big game players who can win you a game, and we also have players who can tear any team apart. So it is exciting in that any one of those games could be a huge Liverpool win. That's really, really, really good place to be. That, any team, regardless of how good they are, we have the squad there that we could tear them apart. The only thing that I can see, and again, this is the last thing before we get focused on the games for the weekend, the only thing that I can see that could potentially be unsettling there behind the scenes that we mightn't know the full extent of is the ongoing contract scenario.